Hello and welcome to another episode of Weather or Not. Allie will bring you the weekend forecast, and Michael has a feature on a new class here at Penn State. All that and much more right now. Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of Weather or Not. I'm your host, Narsutis.
And I'm your forecaster, Debicki.
Well, Allie, it is the week before Thanksgiving. I know a lot of students just really want to get home and have some free time, and thankfully the temperatures and just overall conditions this week have made it a very manageable deed for many students out there.
Yes, those last-minute assignments really were aided by the beautiful weather and the temperatures rising into the mid-50s, a little warm for November. But there is a change coming in the forecast, and I'll have that in my upcoming forecast in a little bit.
Oh, I don't want to change. It has been really nice lately. But now let's take some time to look at our nature in the news. On November 10th, Japan reported that more than half of their largest coral reef had been destroyed due to the rise in temperatures this year. The reef was located in the Okinawan Islands and boasts over 70 coral species and is considered one of the oldest and largest in the Northern Hemisphere. Reports now show that 96% of the coral have undergone bleaching and 56% have died. Coral bleaching occurs when coral is faced with extreme changes in temperature, light, and nutrients. This year's deterioration of the reef was attributed to the 2 °C rise in average water temperatures in the area. The meteorological phenomenon of El Niño, which causes temperatures of the sea surface to rise, has strongly contributed to the coral bleaching around the world this year, including some of the largest protected reefs in Australia, Thailand, and Maldives.
On this past Sunday and Monday nights, the full moon was the closest to Earth in nearly 70 years. This is commonly referred to as the supermoon. A supermoon occurs when the moon is at its closest position to Earth along its orbit. On average, the moon is about 238,900 miles away from Earth, but Sunday and Monday's moon was approximately 221,524 miles away. This supermoon in particular is special because it is the closest the full moon will be to Earth since 1948, making this year's supermoon the biggest and brightest full moon in about 68 years.
A new study released this week found that water levels increased immensely along the East Coast, particularly on the shores of Massachusetts and New Jersey. And now researchers say that they expect sea level rises in our region to continue to outpace other parts of the world. Why is this occurring? Well, one key factor is that the East Coast is sinking. On the East Coast of the U.S., the biggest change was that the land was actually going down rather than the sea going up. Another factor that affects this is the Gulf Stream in the Atlantic Ocean. The Gulf Stream creates a hill of water in the Atlantic Ocean that's roughly parallel to the shores of the East Coast. But the Gulf Stream has been slowing down, causing this hill to flatten out, leading to higher sea levels along the eastern seaboard. A final factor is that places like Greenland with a lot of ice have a strong gravitational pull for surrounding water. Thus, as the ice sheets melt, it not only adds water to the ocean, but the ice sheet also loses mass. This loss of mass weakens the ice sheet's gravitational pull, causing the water to flow away from it.
Earlier this week, on November 15th, America Recycles Day took place. America Recycles Day reminds citizens to take the opportunity to score their homes, schools, or offices for unusual items that can be recycled. As a country, our recycling and compost totals have increased about 34% over the last decade, lowering carbon dioxide emissions. Recycling items such as paper, plastic, glass, aluminum, batteries, used oil, tires, and electronics gives new life to them and reduces the need to extract new raw materials from the earth. Recycling helps reduce emissions of heat-trapping gases into the atmosphere and promotes a cleaner, healthier Earth. Temperatures here in State College have fluctuated. Early mornings have been cool, but as the day progresses have gotten warmer as the sun has been out. But we're going to start to see a change and shift in temperatures as we go into the weekend. And this is due to this cold front moving across the country right now. making its way towards our region. But for Friday, we're going to see some warm temperatures, the warmest this week actually, into the upper 60s, with those warm northerly flow, or southerly flow rather, moving towards the state. But rain is on the way, and for Saturday, that's when we're going to see the bulk of the rain make its way through the area as we go into the early morning hours of Saturday, and it increasing as the day goes on. This rain will be here Saturday into Sunday, and this cold front will bring cooler temperatures behind it. So we'll see overnight lows start to dip into the low 30s, even upper 20s as the night progresses into Sunday. Behind it, we're seeing some snow accumulation into the Ohio and Indiana Valley regions. But as this goes off into the coast, what we're going to see on Sunday will be the majority of our snow, which will be coming off the lakes. We're going to see some lake effect action here, moving in with that northwesterly flow, bringing cool air temperatures over warm water temperatures. So mainly snow towards the northern portions of the state, the northern portions of Pennsylvania, as this cold front pushes off the east coast and bringing that with some snow showers and rain showers as well. For Friday, though, temperatures into the upper 60s, warm and sunny conditions. Overnight, staying clear, temperatures dropping into the low 40s. This is where we're going to start to see a cool down on Saturday by 10 degrees, 58 for our high on Saturday. Showers moving through the area, sticking here until the overnight hours. But as we go into Sunday, temperatures into the low 40s and snowflakes moving into the area due to that lake effect snow. Now on to Mike Spagnolo with a feature on a new climate class at Penn State.
This semester I participated in a relatively new class, one that was a unique experience. Religious Studies 197H, The Ethics of Climate Change, was a one-credit seminar-styled class that met for 3 weeks during the middle of the semester. It was led by Dr. Jonathan Brokop, an associate professor of history and religious studies at Penn State. The class was part of a series of seminars sponsored by the Paterno Fellows, which is a joint program between the Schreier's Honors College and the College of Liberal Arts. Now, what do ethics and climate change have in common? That exact question is what drew me to the class, and as it turns out, quite a lot. A wide background of students were in the class, which brought expert knowledge for more than just the climate side. Over the course of the 3 weeks, we read 3 books covering all of the angles of climate change. To get everyone on the same page in regards to the science of climate change, we started with Richard Alley's Earth, the Operator's Manual. Richard Alley is a Penn State professor within the College of Earth and Mineral Science. We also paid a visit to Dr. Michael Mann for a question and answer session. Next, we read Don Brown's Climate Change Ethics, Navigating the Perfect Moral Storm, which was followed up by a visit to the class by Don himself. Lastly, we ended with Pope Francis's encyclical Laudato Si, on care for our common home. Each class was a discussion of the reading, analyzing not only how the author attempts to communicate crucial messages, but also on the solutions proposed to climate change, and the pros, cons, and ethics of making those decisions and the impacts they will have.
What responsibilities do we have as world citizens regarding this global problem, and also ethical responsibilities of other countries toward one another?
For the final project, we were split into groups and given a country to research and bring our proposals to the table for what we were willing to do to help solve climate change.
In this project, I chose to represent China, and from the perspective of China, and I guess from the developing world more broadly, it's pretty clear that the West needs to take climate action. A lot of people talk about the potential economic impact, lost jobs in coal mines or the energy industry. But from the perspective of China and the developing world, that is a completely necessary price to pay. There are a lot of tough choices that have to be made, but from our perspective, it's clear we have to do them.
This class will again be offered in the spring, but it will soon be getting an upgrade to a full semester 3-credit course. For Whether or Not, I'm Michael Spagnolo.
A cold front bringing some shifts in temperatures, even overnight lows into the freezing mark. But looking at our weekend recap, Friday is still something to be warm and pleasant about. 67 degrees there, 41 is the overnight low. But by Saturday and Sunday, that rain has made its way through the area, dropping our temperatures to the upper 50s into the low 30s overnight. But Sunday is where that snow's coming in with that lake effect action. 40 degrees there and 28 degrees as the high. Now we're looking a little more average as we head to the extended forecast. Monday and Tuesday, very pleasant, partly cloudy skies there, below average, but as time goes on with rain moving through the area, we'll start to see temperatures increase as we head to Wednesday and into Thursday into the upper 40s there. By Friday, though, cloudy conditions and temperatures dipping below that 45-degree mark.
Thank you, Allie, for that forecast. It seems like a few of the upcoming nights are going to be a little bit cold, even below freezing.
Yes. Friday is going to be the last chance for some of that warm temperatures to be in the region, but over the course of the weekend, we are going to see those overnight lows dip to freezing even below. And that first chance for winter on Sunday with wintry mixes and some snowflakes.
Well, there you go. Speaking of cool temperatures and freezing, earlier in the show, we asked our Weather Whiz quiz question, which was, in State College, on what date during the fall does the average low temperature drop to 32 degrees Fahrenheit? Is it A, October 18th, B, November 5th, C, November 21st, or D, December 7th? If you guess C, November 21st, then you're correct.
Climatologically speaking, from this weekend on till the end of March, the average low temperature will be 32 or below for the upcoming overnights.
Well, there you go. And unfortunately, we are going to be getting a few of those this weekend, but that is all the time we have this show. I am your host, Drew Narsutis.
And I'm your forecaster, Allie Debicki. Have a good weekend.